Hello and welcome to a very special episode of the Thomcast. I'm Tom, president and dictator for life of 515comics.com. Now, this is a very special episode because if you're watching this on the YouTubes, you can see that you can't see me. And usually when I do the Thomcasts, I do them in the vlog format where you can see my face while I'm talking at you. But today, we're going old school. We're doing a podcast. It's not necessarily old school. Podcasts are really cool and hip right now. So anyway, it's just a little jarring and weird for me. I'm used to watching myself while I record. I've been doing this for a couple years now, and I've done podcasts before, but usually I do them with other people here, acting as, interviewees or interviewers. And so I'm doing it all by myself. And I'm doing it because my mother, the librarian Mrs. Hackett, has asked me to make a sample podcast for a media class that she's teaching about podcasts. So let's get started. Let's talk about what podcasting is and what you need to know to be able to do it. What it is it's this. It's just audio. Any kind of subject recorded and available for people, usually to download on the internet. I think that's it. I didn't look up an official description or an official definition of podcast, but that's pretty much the deal. You just got to record something, make it available for people to listen to online, like I have here. So how do you do that? Well, basically, you just need a computer, something on which you can record yourself. There are a lot of great sound recording and sound editing applications that are available to you. Right now, I'm actually just using QuickTime Audio Recorder, which was just something that was on my computer. So really, you don't need anything too fancy. Just about anything that'll let you record and save your voice is all you need. As far as a microphone goes, most computers have one built in, so you're pretty much set. The trickiest part after you've got a way to record yourself is to decide what the heck you're going to talk about. Like creating anything for the internet, the opportunities are endless. Really, the limit is your imagination. For real this time, though, you can talk about whatever you want to. So, in some ways, that's very good and very beneficial for creative people, but in other ways, it's kind of, paralyzing, because how are you supposed to pick what it is that you want to talk about when you can literally talk about anything? So, thankfully, the people who are listening to this demo podcast have an assignment. You're doing like a book report, talking about a book that you've read or a book that you like. I don't know the exact specifics of your assignment, so don't quote me on that. But having a topic picked for you is great, because then you know what to talk about, and that's very, very helpful. Then you can decide either to just speak off the top of your brain, or you can write out some notes, or even write out a full-fledged script for yourself, whatever you're most comfortable with. I've been talking to the internet for the past indiscriminate number of years, and so I'm pretty good at just making stuff up on the fly. So that's what I'm doing today. But you may want to have some kind of notes, or I don't know, again, your assignment might require that you write out what it is you're going to say. Anyway, I think I've talked enough about what a podcast is and how to make it. Pretty much you just need to save it and find a way to post it online. For the purposes of your assignment, I guess you guys might not have to actually post it online. It's probably just going to be something that you'll share with your class, which is pretty cool. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about my book, just as kind of an example. I actually write and illustrate a graphic novel series called Nextus: The Search for the Ocean Shard, available at your local school library. Probably, if you're the kids listening to this in the library that my mom works at. The book is called Nextus: The Search for the Ocean Shard. It's a science fiction adventure story about treasure hunters on a planet called Nextus hunting for a lost relic, and all of the people who either are trying to stop them along their journey or people who are just kind of getting caught up in the adventure with them. So the story centers around multiple different groups, but mostly a small group of treasure hunters who start the story a bit down on their luck and get hired to find this great mythic item called the Ocean Shard. At first, they don't even think that it's a real item that can be found, but as they continue on with their adventure, more and more people show up, either telling them that it's real or trying to stop them from finding it. So, maybe it's legit. If you like epic adventures with aliens, action, and people with robot arms, then Next Who's the Search for the Ocean Shard is definitely a comic you should be reading. Well, I want to thank you for listening to my little experimental podcast today, my little sample podcast. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned a little something about making podcasts. I hope that you're not intimidated by making podcasts, because really, it's not that hard, and you should have some fun with it. Another cool thing about podcasts is having a good sign-off. Having an introduction, having a sign-off. These are things that many podcasts have. My sign-off is something I actually borrowed from one of my favorite shows growing up, and it's this. Keep your stick on the ice. That's weird. Oh, man. All right, well, I guess that's it. I guess I'm going to call it good there.